to the mechanics, because Dividos is not a traditional software platform.
Not at all.
When you want to use the system, you don't log into a standard sauce dashboard with, a navigation bar on the left and a user profile on the right. It is engineered as a virtual architectural embassy.
Let's ground that for you, the listener, right away. Imagine you're walking down a physical street at twilight. You turn a corner and arrive at the front gate of a European-style embassy.
Yeah, heavy sandstone walls, flags catching the breeze.
Golden lamplight spilling onto the pavement. And beneath your feet, these ceremonial stones are actually pulsing in sequence. Right in front of you, there's a strict charter carved into a wall beneath this heavy keystone archway.
And that is your login screen.
Right. You aren't looking at a landing page with a tiered pricing grid. You are standing at the threshold of a governed AI city.
And we really should clarify immediately, because it's so easy to get lost in the poetry of that visual, that this architectural metaphor isn't just set dressing.
It's not just a pretty 3D rendering to make the website look cool.
Exactly. It is the fundamental mechanism of how the software's permissions and governance actually function in the code base. But to really grasp why someone would build an operating system as a literal building, we have to look at the architect behind it.
The architect is David Ward, a founder operating out of Cork, Ireland. And the detail that jumped out at me right away from his background is that he is the furthest thing from your typical Silicon Valley disruptor.
Yeah, he is not a move fast and break things guy.
Not at all. His professional DNA was forged in a completely different crucible.
Ward spent 9 years validating regulated software systems for pharmaceutical giants. We're talking about massive, heavily regulated organizations like Lonza and Eli Lilly.
Right.
His entire day-to-day life revolved around validating systems like Delta V and running what the industry calls CSV, computer system validation.
Let's pause there and actually explain what CSV means for someone who has never set foot in a pharmaceutical plant, because system validation sounds like, I don't know, a generic IT term, but the reality is incredibly intense.
Oh, it's life or death. Let's say you are manufacturing a biologic drug. You have these massive bioreactors brewing medicine that will eventually be injected into human beings. Every single variable, the temperature, the pressure, the mixture rate, is controlled by software.
And if that software glitches,
If a sensor fails to log a temperature spike, the medicine could become toxic. So to prevent that, the pharmaceutical industry adheres to incredibly strict standards, specifically frameworks like GAMP5.
good automated manufacturing practice.
Right. And the FDA is 21 CFR Part 11.
And Part 11 is all about electronic records and signatures, right? Meaning the FDA mandates that if a computer makes a decision, it has to be as legally binding and traceable as a human signing a piece of paper in ink.
Precisely. You can't just run the software and say, hey, the batch finished, it looks fine. You have to prove it worked. You have to provide an unbroken cryptographic chain of evidence to an auditor who might show up 2 years after the batch was manufactured.
Wow.
You have to prove who logged in, what button they pushed, what the system parameters were at that exact millisecond, and that the software was fundamentally incapable of doing anything outside of its validated state.
So the stakes aren't like the app crashed and my food delivery's late.
Yeah.
The stakes are human lives and federal indictment.
Exactly.
Ward essentially took that 9 years of extreme pharmaceutical validation PTSD and made it the structural foundation for artificial intelligence. He's building a digital substrate that treats an AI-generated output with the exact same gravity as a batch of intravenous medication.
Which is a massive paradigm shift. Think about how LLMs operate today. They are inherently non-deterministic. If you ask a language model the same question twice, you might get 2 slightly different answers.
Right, which is fun for brainstorming, but
that unpredictability is absolute poison in a pharmaceutical environment. So Ward's challenge was, how do you harness the creative power of AI, but force it to operate within a deterministic, highly regulated cage?
and there is a deeply personal historical through line here that explains his approach to that cage. It goes beyond just his corporate pharma training. It's actually a typographic legacy.
Yeah, this part of the source material was fascinating.
Right. According to the documents, Ward's maternal grandfather, Donald O'Leary, ran a physical printing operation in Cork, and his mother, Anna Ward, worked those heavy mechanical presses.
And Dividos is explicitly framed by Ward as the third generation of his family's typographic discipline.
Only now, instead of printing physical newspapers, this third generation is printing governed, audited AI assets.
That connection to the physical printing press is vital to understanding the whole system's architecture. A printing press is the ultimate deterministic machine. You arrange the lid type, apply the ink, pull the lever, and it leaves a permanent physical impression on the paper.
It cannot hallucinate a different word halfway through the print run.
Exactly. It can't guess. Ward is attempting to bring that tangible mechanical certainty into the digital realm. He wants digital actions to leave a permanent, unalterable impression.
Which brings us back to why Dividos is built as an embassy rather than a standard SaaS dashboard. It's built on a core rule they call the Graphify First Experience Doctrine.
Right.
And I found this fascinating. The mandate dictates that before any new dashboard or feature is built, it must pass the founder test. Would a first-time visitor understand this in 30 seconds?
And if the answer is no, it doesn't get built as a wall of text or a complex drop down menu. It requires visual context, spatial positioning, or audio narration.
It forces developers to translate abstract data into physical geometry. Instead of the permissions matrix hidden in some settings tab, you literally have a locked door. Instead of a file directory, you have a library with rolling ladders.
Yeah, it's so visceral.
But I have to push back on this a little bit. I look at this and I wonder, if you are building highly regulated enterprise-grade compliant software for industries like medtech, doesn't treating the interface like a physical building risk making it feel like a video game?
I mean, that's a fair question.
Like, if I'm a compliance officer, I might feel like I'm walking around a level of The Sims rather than managing serious corporate liability. Does the metaphor undermine the gravity of the tool?
It's a natural concern,
You are in
but the
library.
psychological research
This
Ward
room
leans on
orients
suggests the
visitors through
exact
public
opposite
safe
outcome.
knowledge, shelves, and learning material. Look for public shelves first. Private evidence belongs in governed rooms later. Boundary. Library preview only. It does not expose private evidence or source vaults.
There you go. Now that's a little tour around my embassy. Anyway, I'd love to see a tour of your one. Maybe someday, if this one takes off, we might take a trip down there together and take a look at how it turned out. Um, but this is something that I've kind of put together last week, mate. Honestly, but I suppose I've been putting it together for a while, subconsciously, and I guess in code. And it's just kind of the culmination of a lot of things, and it's very cool. It's very interactive. It's going to track everything for me, mate, and hopefully for a couple of other people, mate. And you know, it looks like it's starting to come together as something I could sell or even license to other people.
I want you to just imagine the scenario for a second. An FDA regulator walks into a pharmaceutical manufacturer.
And it's all auditable, which is really cool,
I
honestly.
want you to just imagine the scenario for a second.
Right.
An
Yeah, still always, don't they? Same as repetitive right at the moment, because this is just a demo, but some of it is functioning. Um, and yeah, maybe in a few weeks, we can sit down together and try it out. Maybe I can give you a little version of it for yourself, but you know, there's an area there there's a cafe there. There's an area there to record podcasts, an area to record videos, a vault where all the evidence is kept of all the decisions. A recruitment company inside there, a library, a games room, and a little church or a room like that, a press room for dealing with the media. I'm working on articles, a client wing for when I deal with clients. And I'm kind of hoping to populate this space here, this actual space.
Welcome.
With AI
This
agents.
is a
And
space
simply
for
see the
precision.
character here.
This
I
room
hope
is
to
dedicated to Davey
put a real
C,
agent into
a
that
builder of
character and have him
embassies.
go and work as a recruitment agent. I hope to put a librarian in here who actively works as a librarian, a radio producer in here, a barista in here who does recipes and things like that. And that's my own publishing company. And I have a stack of 500 numbers, ISBNs, Nielsen numbers to publish books. So I'm going to start banging out books pretty soon. I don't know. I remember years ago telling you that was an intention of mine, like it still is. And this is kind of the engine that I hope to autonomously do that, you know. I guess it kind of came together, and a lot after a conversation with you, I have to say, like, it cleared up a lot for me. I've been really tied up in this lately, man. Like, I've probably invested definitely close to definitely built with you in mind anyway, the embassy side of things. But I always kind of wanted to be an ambassador, so I think this could be as close as I get. Anyway, safe flight. Let me know what you think. If there's more information you want to know, if you want to play around with this for a while, I'm thinking about a trip back to Ireland soon. Simply be just a necessity, genuinely. Um, and I could absolutely fly by and we get this up on the screen in front of you and see what you make of it. And maybe, you know, I can edit this in real time. I actually can edit it right now if I want to. But I have a few things going on here. 1 second. But it's certainly interesting. You know, there's a way for people to come and join you in here. Your visitors can come in. They can come to events. They can use some of your tools. They go through that elevator that you saw a minute ago. I hope I'm not going too fast for you here. Um, there's a lot going on. And you know, it's amazing. I can just put in a prompt now and like anything, something different could happen, you know? I've kind of exhausted my ability to explain this any further, I think. Let me see if I can show you some more cool things. Yeah, this is where the real gold is. Like, I see you're not able to come in. You have to accept all the fucking consequences. Who are you? Name yourself. Give me your email, please. and then cross the threshold, and then you're allowed to enter into this